Nah. How's it look back there? What about if I take this out? Oh, very nice. Better? Who knows? Who fucking knows? Guys, let's talk about the swag check this morning. Puma just came out with this new skeleton top. You guys jealous? Just checking. Oh, what's that? Bandana? Oh, what's that? Mountaineering glasses? You guys don't have this kind of stuff. And I'm wearing it just so you guys can know it exists. And if I wanted to, this is my new podcast guest, Mr. Sexual Chocolate, Randy Watson. Yeah, he just sits there on the desk with me. One of these days, I'll have him on the show. One of these days. I don't even know who you are, Owen. I don't like the way you're talking to me. Trying to get slapped up. So I spent the weekend. You guys got to hear this. Fly out Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. 5-hour flight. Land in Raleigh, North Carolina. Next, I get in a car with Cole Daddy, drive. God, I should just bring up a map. This is crazy. Maps. Boom. All right, let's type this in. Raleigh, North Carolina. Boom. Enhance. Okay. I need you guys to know what the hell happened this weekend. I'm going to present the screen. You guys are going to be jealous if you can't see this because this is flat out nuts. Whoops. Hey, what's going on here? Stop sharing. How do I present? Share screen. I want to share entire screen. I'm going to share this one. Boom. Okay. Check this out. So I land in Raleigh over here. 5 hours. Then Cole Daddy and I drive all the way up through all this nonsense. We end up getting onto here, what's called the Outer Banks. We go through Duck. No big deal. Now, this stretch right here is all beach. There's no roads. So we are 4x4ing on the beach to a wedding that we have here. We rip it up, have a wild night. We're up until 2 a.m. that night. Wake up the next day, 8 a.m. Cole Daddy and I rip a Murph workout, which was probably one of the dumbest things I've done in a long time. I've trained 0 high repetition workouts all summer. The amount of soreness, I could barely stand at this wedding afterwards. The 300 squats is what killed me. We do a 5-mile run down the beach. Come back, bang out beers and cigars all night long until 4 a.m. We leave then at 10 a.m. the next day. Back out here, drive. We drive all the way up here into the Shenandoahs. Where the hell is it? I got to find Shannon. What was it? Where was that? I don't know. I drive all the way up into the middle of nowhere, Virginia, past Richmond, out into this part of the country. We help Kyle at then 6 p.m. at night go run Mount Salon. There we go, Mount Salon. Let's type that in. Okay, boom. We're now at Mount Salon. 6 p.m., Kyle starts his ultramarathon. I then wake up at 2 a.m. to go meet Kyle and start running at 3:30, and then I run a marathon. Now, check out this marathon. You guys are going to be mind blown by this. Whoops. You better be logged in, Strava, or I'm going to be pissed. All right, let's go. We're logged in. It's now 3 in the morning. I start with Ultra Kyle. I then run a marathon with no training whatsoever. 26 miles, 6,400 feet of climbing. Brutal. We then work our asses off with Kyle. Let's get some more data on this. Let's get into the deep. We then help Kyle run this thing. And Kyle, by the way, whenever he does ultra marathons, becomes the biggest prick in the whole world. And I love him with all my heart, but we call him Ultra Kyle. So I run this thing. It takes me nearly 7 hours of running with Kyle. He doesn't talk to me at all. So I'm basically by myself in the woods with no training, hungover from a wedding. Look at these miles that we're clocking off. This one right here, 635, 548. This isn't pleasant running, by the way. Another 600. This one goes down 800. And let me tell you, going down 800 feet in a mile is not pleasurable at all. It is crazy. It is crazy painful. Jagged, nasty ass rocks. I slept none. So now, yeah, I'm back and I'm tired. And if it wasn't for these cool glasses, might not be here, guys. Let me tell you, good old cup of sloppy Joe in the morning, bulk pony cup. Now, I may have put too many coffee grounds in this time. It fucked me up. Let's answer some questions. Dude, the Outer Banks is so close to me. It's sick. Owen, you didn't even try to say hi. Turning in from North Carolina, those drives, the beaches, they are freaking sweet. You signed up for a marathon in 3 weeks after you saw that? That's dope. That's what we're here to inspire. Let's go, baby. All right, so check this out. I originally created the product. I don't even know where it is. I created Hydro a long time ago because I did not like what was on the market. You're basically just getting simple carbs, typically maltodextrins, glucose, fructose blends, and sodium. And 9 times out of 10, it's a very low sodium level. And electrolyte balance in general, low. So we're out there doing this thing. Kyle's throwing up like crazy. Everybody's sick and can't take down food. So here's the deal. If you're running this thing and you're clocking off these miles, and I don't even know, like the heart rate's not going to pick up because this is a wrist watch, but you know, your heart rate is so low. Look at this, like 119, 136, 140. Like it's so low the entire time I'm doing this thing. You're not pulling off carbohydrates. You're just not. And what people don't get is that they're dumping all of these carbohydrates into their system. They're having indigestion where their body's not able to break the stuff down properly, and it's giving them gut distress. They tend to not have high enough sodium levels inside of there, so the stomach acid balance starts to go sideways on them, and they start to get acid indigestion. So if you have acid indigestion, it's typically you just have too low sodium levels. I think more athletes that are doing long distance work at low heart rate work need to be taking down amino acids, specifically branched chain amino acids, to be able to handle this kind of volume. Because what you don't understand is it's not carbohydrates that are getting you into trouble. It's your body's ability to absorb fluids, disperse energy, and can continue to move forward. And what everyone's trying to do is they're basically trying to pour gas onto a slow burning fire. It doesn't work that way. And what you're doing is you're spiking yourself up. Your body's not able to take it in. If you're just eating sugar for 24 hours straight, it's not doing you what you really want it to. Now, the other answer that people are probably reaching towards nowadays because they're idiots is they're reaching towards ketones. Ketones is another thing that's for fucking idiots. It takes such a long time for your body to try to then break down and oxidize fat. And people are like, oh, the body takes it differently. Blah, blah, blah. I read this blog of a fucking influencer. I'm so smart, Hunter. Shut up. That's not how it works. I'm sitting out there in the field watching all of these people come through, and you could see they were shattered and shook at these aid stations. I can't eat. I'm having so much trouble. I swear to God, this is our amino acid drink. I only took 4 scoops of this. It's because it's all I had the entire 26 miles. Beyond that, I had a couple just sips of Coca-Cola. I'm talking about dash Coca-Cola, a couple bites of pickles, and just random shit. I took almost nothing in. I had no bonks, no crashes whatsoever. The other thing that people don't get is your body is constantly breaking down protein inside of it, muscle fibers. And what it's doing is it's destroying your body and creating so much muscle damage that it's going to be the pain that you're basically incurring after that. Having amino acids to be able to continually work on the body at the same time as you're breaking it down is the move. I am totally fine right now. I can jump up and down, like my feet feel like shit, but like it's not because I think a lot of it has to do with the nutrition that people are taking in, and people are just confused. So I'm telling you guys right now, whether or not you like my company, which you should, because I will knuckle you in the face next time I see you if you don't support us, you should go out and get BCAAs and high electrolyte balance drinks, the long work that you're doing. And if you guys want to take in snacks, like take in things that are like little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, even freaking pork rinds, things that are just going to work on just kind of preventing palate exhaustion, take that kind of stuff instead. Taking all of these gels for ultras and shit, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. I'll stand by it through and through. Meet me in a parking lot. Take me on. Let's go, baby. Now, what I will tell you is if you go out there and you're trying to rip a marathon or a half marathon, something where your heart rate is ripping at a higher rate, it's not going to work the same. But that zone 2 work, low zone 2 work, boom, it's the best. I'm telling you guys right now. You don't believe me? Take that. How about that, bro? All right, let's get into the show notes. Okay, this is interesting. Now, I just started a sponsorship with AmazeFit, so I have to give them a shout out because we're basically going to bring up Koros data, and I'm hoping that they're willing to do this kind of stuff with me after every single race because this is dope. We talked about this last time, guys. I'm going to go into the screen here, and we're gonna drop this. Koros took the opportunity to basically take Killian's data from when he did the 82 peaks in 19 days, which is insane. It's insane. And we talk about just like his power output and the strain on his body. I can put this into the show notes. I don't even know if I can. Let's see here. Copy. I'll put this in the show notes if you guys want it. I'm going to paste it right here. Yeah, but doodle doo. So, oh, whoops. Take that, boys. What's up? Yeah, we got no girls up in the chat. We're just going to drop down here and just get down like the days. So 29 kilometers, 3,000, almost 3,000 meters, move time, 6 hours. Beastly. Then he's out here on a bike, which is so gangster. Getting out there, 200 kilometers on a bike. Just to give you guys a heads up, if you're complaining about doing an Ironman, suck it up. This guy's doing harder shit. 8 hours, 4,000 meters. Look at this one right here. Day 3 of his trip, 687-point strain. 4,500 meters, 13 hours on the feet. Now, I don't know if he was wearing a heart rate strap or not, but an average heart rate of a $114, crazy. The next day, this is where it really gets nasty. Almost 8,000 meters, constant move time, 28 hours. So that's basically, Kyle took 29 hours to do his ultra marathon. That's why we call him Ultra Kyle. He could have done it faster, but he's such a beast, he decided to go slow so he could suck up every step, really embrace the burn. I mean, this guy basically was doing what Kyle did for days on end and at a record-setting pace. This guy quite possibly is, I mean, like you guys love celebrating David Goggins. This guy would wrap David Goggins up in a tortilla and eat that bitch. This guy right here is as dangerous as it gets. Like if this guy wanted to set the pull-up world record, he would kill it. Many of you guys don't know my friend Hobie Call. And Hobie Call, I've said to this day, I've wanted to sponsor him for so many years doing it. If this dude right here decided to go for the pull-up world record, he would get flat out he would flat out dominate everybody by probably 1 to 2,000 reps. Look at this. This is us back in 2013 together. Look at Hunter McIntyre there looking like a stud. My head is the size of this dude. And we battled it out for years. This is Spartan Race World Championships. But this dude right here, if you want to know who probably the fittest athlete on the planet was for a good couple years, it was this guy. And I know you guys are all like, it's OCR. I don't give a shit. Speaking about sports that probably get too much street cred and typically are aligned with idiots, we're going to talk about this douche right here. Thomas Rodriguez Hernandez, who set the marathon record at 2:34, I guess has been caught doping. I don't know why anybody thought that was random, but you know, it was always good, but he wasn't a great. And he ran a 1:13 half in the middle of it. Mm, and that drives me fucking nuts. I mean, God, I will tell you guys right now that if I found out one of my fellow competitors was doping, I'd beat the shit out of him. I'd beat the shit out of him because no one else is going to do it. You got us all working really hard, and then you come in like a pussy and you decide to take all this glory and probably sponsorship dollars from other people, and you rob other people of their hard work, and you're cheating. And this guy got a lot of street cred. Everyone was pumped up on this dude's time. So, fuck you. Now, you know what blew my mind? This chick. Ironman World Championships just happened. And this chick came out and ran a 2:44. So only 10 minutes slower, maybe 11 minutes slower than the guy who just set the record. Now, I'm not accusing this chick of doping by any means, but Jesus, this is crazy. You know, I think I did. She ran, she destroyed my swim time by like 20 minutes or so. She beat my bike time by about 30 minutes, and then she beat my run time by about 30 minutes. Which doesn't seem like that much, but God, it's crazy. That marathon time is nuts. I still cannot figure out how these people have been able to just drop the marathon time so drastically. This girl's only 4 minutes behind the marathon record that stood for 30 years that only got broke 2 years ago. And now everybody is just like, whoa, dropping it like crazy. See if there's anything else in here. Someone calling me? Oh, yeah, I'm getting phone calls, guys. But that's insane. It really is insane. Here's another insane record. I got to get some details on this. If anybody wants to bring it up in the notes, and I'll talk about it later on this week. This chick just ran and broke the Appalachian Trail record. And I mean, some really, really talented guys have set that record. First, it was Scott Jurek. Then it was the other guy sponsored by Red Bull. Her name's Tara Downer. She just did the Hard Rock 100. Super casual. Doesn't seem like she's like hard in the paint. Seems like she's just having a good time. Look at that. She likes sticks. You know, it is fascinating how the female body, when it comes to endurance, really long endurance, they are significantly more talented than men. Like it doesn't make any sense. I've said to this day many times that the most talented athlete I've ever worked with was Rory Bozio. Rory Bozio and I did that show Boundless and she whooped my ass all the time. She whooped everybody's ass, man or woman, did not matter the distance, did not matter the sport. She was just a monster, such a monster. And it blew my mind. Congratulations. You guys should check her out. We'll get some more data on her, but this is really important. Guys, I'm going to bring a special guest in. We're going to get this right here. We're going to hit a good old one of these. We're going to get out of here. Guys, give me a couple seconds. You guys are more than welcome to add little questions in the chat. Rubbity babbity. Okay. Let's do here. Boom. All right. Give it a second. He's going to be here in a second. Okay. Send. Okay. You know what's hysterical? Now, you guys know I love to give CrossFit a hard time because why not? I mean, geez, why not? I did see Jake's time. That was a really good time that Jake pulled off. That was super impressive. He has gotten really fit. Really fit. Training methodologies, nutrition, technology. What's the most important? Oof. I think technology is only for the last percentage. You have to have, I mean, if there's a pie chart of how to get the most out of yourself, I would say 70% of it's hard work, 25% of it is nutrition, and then 25% of nutrition, and then 5% of it's mindset. But the thing is like you can't even go anywhere without being able to do the hard work. I mean, George is a great example of it. George would probably be a sub 60-minute if he did more work. But what George likes to do is he reversed it. George likes to talk about mentality. He likes to eat a lot, and then he likes 5% of the time. Isn't that right, George?
There's some truth to that. There's some
George, once again, your
sprinkled.
audio. Let's
How
see.
is it?
Speak again. It's a little bit better.
Is that
Can
better?
anybody give us a thumbs up whether or not you guys can hear George? I'm
It
gonna need to
says
get
I'm
it.
good with the audio, but how's that? How's that, guys?
We're gonna find
Any
out
good?
from the people. We're gonna stop presenting. What do you think about Jake Dearden's time in South Africa? I think he ran like a 56.
Super impressive. Yeah, the guy's a stud. Was he
That guy
25?
had it coming though. He very talented.
Yeah, it's full time. Yeah, guy puts out a lot of good content. Although I have to say, when he's running through the woods and he's like, really nice going for a peaceful run, I'm like, yeah, you've got a 24/7 camera crew driving alongside you. It's not that peaceful. I know those shoots, but
Yeah. I mean, that's the
he's a
Hollywood
good
of it.
guy. Yeah, that's the Hollywood. Exactly. No, the guy's super impressive.
Here's the interesting thing. Do you remember when Graham Halliday a handful of years ago ran a 56 and then he went backwards and now he's having a hard time getting the Elite 15? When you see these guys come in, run like a blazing hot time, it's really impressive if they stay there. Like it's anybody can be chucked a baseball and hit a home run every once in a while. It's the guys that are just like knock every single time, the consistency. It will be very impressive. Like I think he's got all the talent in the world. Usually it's the consistency is in your head. It's that last 5% of whether or not he's going to show up and just knuckle down and kick the shit out of that thing consistently.
We've spoken about this before, and I think some people suffer from going from their ordinary job to kind of being an amateur in High Rocks to being full time and having the pressures of sponsorship, second season syndrome. You kind of pick a course that maybe you thought was going to be faster and it's not, and you kind of let these demons get in your head. But obviously, I don't know Graham that well. I know he's a hell of an athlete. He's not come from he's come from a CrossFit background. I think he's probably searching for that perfect race instead of just like taking all the equations out of it and just knowing that he's a 56 guy. But there's knowing you're a 56 guy and then there's running it in the world championships. And there's a big difference. So I don't know. I think he'll be top six, top five maybe this year. Um, that would be my guess. Um, I'd say the top three is going to be pretty interesting this year. I was speaking to James Kelly earlier. I think he'll push you and Sandy and Alex. That'll be a familiar battle, let's say. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. Actually, I think it's super exciting what happened last year. Everyone's rooting against you, which is fun. It's fun for me, because you're always rooting against me, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think
No,
everybody loves to sing the swan song of blood in the water.
yeah, they're coming for you, and I know that that's actually probably their biggest mistake, having known you pretty much better than anybody the last few years. I know that, um, yeah, you're gonna burn the world to the ground this time and take care of business, but you got to go out and do it now.
Yeah, I know. I was telling a lot of people about this. Like, it's these months that are the most important. Like, I know people like to think about the months that are ahead of time, but for me, like, I need the next 3 to 4 months of like 15 to 25 hours a week of training. And it's not even like that crazy. It's not even crazy training. Like, everyone's like, what are you up to? What are your intervals? I'm like, it's really not like that. Like, as
Yep.
soon as I get off the phone with you guys, I basically just go sit on a stationary bike for an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's it. It's not Hollywood as fuck. It's not these videos where I'm running with a camera crew next to me and talking about my intervals. And like, I'm not trying to tease Jake, but like, it's not what any of you guys see. Like, if you want to know where my biggest sweat pedals are, it's under a stationary bike.
Mm.
Like, dust collects in 90% of my gym until certain times of year. Like, I'm not touching sleds at all. I don't work out on my turf at all. And then getting ready for a race, it's all the turf. But I'll be on the stationary bike. I'll be doing some basic shit. I'm just starting to run again. That marathon didn't help. Um, yeah.
You're a good friend.
What's that?
You're a good friend.
Yeah.
Just showing up to a wedding and an ultra in the same weekend,
Well, dude,
flying
that's it.
across the country. Yeah,
I'm shutting it down after this. Um, you want to see something funny?
yeah.
I basically found out that CrossFit ripped off all of their training methodologies from the Soviets. Look at this. So this right here is an old strength and conditioning video from the Soviets. And if you watch it, it's basically just a CrossFit class. Muscle ups, here we go. Yep.
Yep.
Rope climbs, here we go. Okay.
There'll be some barbell work in a minute. Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you
saying.
know for sure, dude. Back
There we
extensions.
go.
Oh, what's
There we
that?
go.
Snatches.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to see Greg Glassman speak this Thursday. Oh, what's that? A clean? A kettlebell toss? I mean, I think what they've done is they've dressed it up too much now with all the handstand walking and shit.
Of
But in
course.
reality, these were Olympic wrestlers, and they basically were using the methodologies of the Olympic wrestling team.
Yeah.
And
I love those windmills, those barbell windmills that he's
oh,
doing
they're
right
great.
now.
They're great.
Those are savage.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say there's a lot of similarities, and CrossFit came along, commercialized the fuck out of it, and made a whole bunch of money and all the rest of it. And that's, there were other social media websites before Facebook, right? Do you remember this thing called High Five? Do you ever hear about
N-
this?
No, is there social media?
Social media in Spain. Some friends of my friends sold it for like 25 million each. There was four of them, and it, never got off the ground beyond that. So, you know, like social media existed, but then Facebook kind of dominated it. They took kind of what MSN chat and Yahoo wanted to be, and they just kind of figured it out, with pictures and videos and stuff. And I guess, props to CrossFit in one way because they took something that not a lot of people know about and they brought it to the masses. But yes, was it their idea? Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, I hope they don't die off.
They got a press problem at the moment. Um, you know, that was a dark day in August watching that.
Well, they just had Wadapalooza this weekend. I didn't hear anybody in the community even talking about it. My
No, they
manager
well,
Snorri said it was really cool, but they don't need cool right now. They need like holy shit. Like High Rocks has holy shit right now. Everybody I know is talking about High Rocks, even if they don't give a fuck about training. It's incredible.
I think the most important thing that other brands need to learn about, they got to get away from this like party line of like the safety of our athletes is what's paramount. And it's like if you're true to that statement, because that's what CrossFit said after, then you have to second guess and you have to foresee all the problems that you can't see when you're setting up an event. And with regards to High Rocks, obviously I know I'm real good. You're just getting thousands and thousands of athletes in indoor arenas. You know, you've got to have enough medical, you've got to have enough defibrillators in the buildings, you've got to pay attention. Otherwise, it's just a question before someone just pops over, the wall station and they're like, oh, why isn't anybody doing anything about this? So, you know, Ironman marathon, you've got to they got to do more, but people also have to understand that high level sports or you push yourself to exertions, there are going to be some outliers. But the thing at CrossFit it wasn't an outlier. That was just
Well,
dumb.
I have the opposite opinion. I think people need to wake up and just be like, you guys remember that when you went outside and played as a kid, that you came home with scuffed up knees and bloody hands. Like anytime you did anything besides sit on the couch. Now, we're talking about the utmost extreme, which is somebody passed away, which I totally think it's the worst feeling in the world as an athlete. Like you don't want that to happen. You don't want that. There's a level of fear attached to it, but people need to wake back up again and get back out there and stop having this negative attitude that life is meant to be this polished, perfect little pod that you get to pass through. I have Battle Bunker coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to test the shit out of these athletes. I personally have spent my entire life chasing the test,
Mm.
looking for the greatest test. I've not been looking for things with bumper rails on the side to keep myself safe. So,
100%. I see what you're saying, and I
yeah,
also contradict myself and agree with what you're saying. However, the thing that happened to Lazar was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
you
Well,
know, that
so
that they need obviously you can't go backwards, but you damn sure as hell need to pay attention to your programming because moving your competition 2,000 miles south in Texas in the summer, I could tell you there was gonna be some problems with that. And then the
yeah, anybody can
first,
figure that out.
the first, the first workout, you want to send guys that all they are is muscle. You want to send them into a 5K run, into a swim. Like just the probability increases with cramps and then you guys, I don't know, I don't know how many lifeguards they had, but it obviously wasn't enough. And just to give them a fucking luminous hat or a buoy, there's
No,
no
man.
problem with that. You don't take anything away from their
I'm gonna
safe.
show you something really quickly. I've been quiet about this because it's like not helpful, but I need you to see something.
Normally, if we say something like that, I normally get like a picture of your bare ass or like something kind of gross. So
Okay,
pay attention, guys.
watch this. Spartan Games. Listen, what happened on that day, I'm going to isolate it and not say I know anything about the details because there's very limited visibility and information. But I was here on this day. This is the Spartan Games in 2021 or 2020, and this is 2020. This is a 40-minute AMRAP swim after we've already competed in a 35-minute obstacle race where we had like 100 obstacles. So our arms are fried. So this is the second workout of the day. This is also in Vermont where the water is freezing. You can look at the like the leaves in the background changing. Like I just want you guys to see. Like obviously there's not that many athletes here, but you see this?
Yeah, it's playing.
There's only I think like 12 male athletes in the water. Okay, here we're starting. Hey, guess what? Look as far as you can around. Tell me what you do not see.
Yeah, I love guys.
Oh,
Camera crew. Go get that content.
there's no lifeguards.
Yeah,
There's nobody in a boat waiting to go.
dope.
Hey, guess what? We're out there swimming still.
Pretty good, pretty good.
No lifeguards. Now,
I tell you
like
what you
what
did
happened,
have.
like I'm not trying to say what happened on that day is excusable at all, but I'm just like, the community's got to understand, like this is like these events happen all the time, and like I am not trying to say anything that happened on that day is excusable by any means, but like I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like it's
Fair.
like I'm just hoping CrossFit ends up in a better place and has a more positive attitude.
They
Yeah.
will as soon as they get people to stop walking on their hands.
What's that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'll let go of this. Here's some things I want to talk about though. Anthony Joshua, big dog, got soft jawed, got knocked out cold. I got to find the picture of his face. I found this picture of his face. Let's see. Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua knockout picture. Why is this happening? Come on. There's a picture of his face just like completely like jellied. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been knocked out a couple times, but he he got a freeway with Francis Ngannou. But the last guy, I don't know if we can find the picture of him getting knocked out, but he got knocked out pretty bad.
Do,
And I mean,
do you remember the
that's,
Do you remember the fight with Ruiz, the Mexican guy who was
you
huge,
mean this one?
absolute legend?
And then he completely destroyed his career.
I mean, obviously that guy apparently went off the rails after for 7 months after because he was, heavyweight champion of the world in Mexico, and then took the money for the rematch, and then Joshua picked him apart. But it was like Joshua's always had a poor head movement in boxing. I know a little bit from boxing from doing it when I was a kid, and that was the most important thing I told you is just don't keep your head. It doesn't stay still. You've got to bob and weave. And Joshua has never moved his head in a month of Sundays, so you know
So
he's just a big target.
I've been going down this rabbit's hole of just like I don't really get boxing because there's so many different federations. Like, has he been dodging really good fights for a long time?
Well, boxing's pretty complicated because the federations kind of get to set the fights. It's not like UFC where Dana White literally gives what the fans want. They kind of There's so much that goes into it from choosing the boxing ring, the type of canvas, the types of ropes, the gloves. Is it going to be home or away? What does the contract say? How much does it have to be at weigh-in? All this stuff kind of affects the best fights being made. Um, and then it's obviously Joshua has been kind of like this cash cow
That's what I'm
for
saying. Like, are they keeping him
certain
away from
promoters.
fights and just like using him as just like a money pot? Because look at this guy. I've never heard of this guy. And I started going down a rabbit hole to find out the best boxers in the world right now. And I feel like nobody talks about this dude. And he's basically got like an undefeated record and
Mm.
he has a 70% knockout rate. His name's Artur Beterbiev.
Where's he from? Like Kazakhstan?
Yeah, they
Kazakhstan?
all are, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a dual nationality, born in Russia and resides in Canada now,
yeah.
which Canada just produces mutants. But like, it's just confusing to me as like just a fan of sports. Like, what the hell is really going on in boxing? Like, I
Well, they have
can't
to.
tell who's
They,
the best.
they, yeah, they. You remember when Mayweather finally fought Pacquiao, but it was 5 years too late. That's how they could kind of guarantee that Mayweather won. If Pacquiao and Mayweather had fought 3 or 4 years earlier, it kind of would have been a 50-50 toss up. So that's the thing about
Yeah.
boxing. They kind of want to like get all their money behind the winning horse, and you know, very few fights that you want to see happen come to fruition. And now there's a safety thing. So back in the day they would box like twice a month. Do you know what I mean? And they would box 15 rounds. Now they box once, twice a year if you're lucky. And you know, so yes, that's right, Prince Nassim. That's right. You know
Is,
it, Sai.
is that the guy who beat Joshua?
No. Prince Nassim Hamid is the absolute. He was my favorite boxer growing up. This guy used to see if you can get any videos of Nassim Hamid basically leapfrogging the ropes upon entry during the ring. He used to just dance around opponents. He was kind of like a flyweight Muhammad Ali. Yeah, this guy, this scrawny little dude. There's got to be some highlight videos of him entering the ring. He was just like untouchable. He used to kind of do like a windmill, you know, when you do that thing, messing around with a buddy, except he'd clock someone with it. So yeah, Nassim Hamid was an absolute goat. Oh, you got it.
It's
Got
eagle.
ads. Oh,
Sick eagle. Yeah, nice.
sweet. Yeah. Look at that coming in on a freaking throne. There you go.
Oh,
Oh, ooh.
I should have been in boxing, dude. He looks mean.
Yeah, he was. He's just come
See
out
this? We got a
dancing.
little bit. Oh, he's really he's fucking people up.
Yeah, who picked him apart? I forget who knocked him out. But he basically got a taste of his own medicine. I forget who did it. I think it might have been Oscar De La Hoya.
Ooh,
Yeah.
God.
Look, he used to stick his chin out there, like, go on, touch it. He was
Yeah.
basically a matador and a boxer. That's a dope combination.
All right, so I also went down this rabbit hole of all of these different fighting sports, and look at this one. I probably didn't get this many likes. This is tire wrestling. I have no fucking clue what this is.
Wow. You got to
Yeah.
get them in the tire, I'm assuming. Just bury them in the tire.
Yeah, dude. I have no clue what these guys are up to.
Oh,
Like it to me, I don't understand where these sports come from. Like, have you ever seen car jujitsu?
yeah, I've recently come across that with the seatbelt thing. Yeah.
I don't know how to spell jujitsu, so don't judge me. All right, the sport of car jujitsu, like this is another thing, and this has got 83,000 views. Like, I cannot figure out the sport, like this fight world. Oh, I mean, this. Hold on, let me go through the notes here. There's also something else I got in fighting that I really want. Oh, this is my dream. So I wanted to do this show what I call the rite of passage, where I go around the world and do all of like the cultures around the world's like sports.
Yeah.
This is called Senegal wrestling, and this is where like the biggest in Senegal, like these titans of men, go into arenas that are as big as football arenas, and they fight each other. Like, look at that. This is a dream.
It's dope.
You know that these men against me, no chance. Big Daddy, dude, especially if Big Daddy really hits the bulk down. Oh my God.
You'd have to do where you throw the sand in the eyes to get
Oh
that
yeah.
first grapple. You'd have to be sneaky. You'd
Dude,
have to play in the shadows.
let me tell you something. I went to a wedding this weekend, and I don't want to brag, but I'm going to. The entire wedding party on one side has an MMA fighting background. Like, the father of the bride owns all these fighting gyms, and they clearly had like their champion, and like, I was on the other side. I was like kind of like the big guy on that wedding party. And we were always kind of like looking at each other, and these guys are talking about how tough they are and everything, just kind of dropping the line. I was like, we should wrestle. They're like, oh yeah, you don't want that. And I was like, okay, what's up?
Yeah.
So everyone jumps in the pool, and you knew this was coming. Chicken fights. Like, you remember chicken fights where you get on each other's shoulders and go?
Yeah.
Cole Daddy, like their champion, got on top of somebody else's shoulder and like looked over, and I got on top of Cole Daddy's shoulders. And this guy is like big motherfucker, owns 3 MMA gyms. Dumb, just fucking thrashed him like a rag doll. It was the best. It was the absolute best. It was the highlight of my entire weekend. It was like, these are the things that give me passion. I don't want wall balls and burpees anymore. I want blood.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin's Ranch.
Yes. Those are the things, dude.
Why didn't you bring that back? I've never understood why that show cancelled.
Two things. Undisputed, undefeated, impossible to touch. I don't think that really is why they shut down the show. I think just the expense of it was so much. I think a lot of people don't understand that literally there's us competing on the show, and there's like 20 athletes there or something like that every day. There's a lot of people because there's the females, there's the males, but then there's like 100 staff members.
Like
You're
production.
paying all these people. You're paying for insurance. You're paying for cash prizes. Like it was a big show, but
Mm.
um,
They just
yeah,
didn't want
it
to give you
was.
your 25 piece every week.
Yeah, I I did well.
Did you just get paid even though you weren't there? Like you
Oh
didn't
no,
have
I
to
always
show
had to.
up.
I had to show up, and I had to participate in them trying to beat me.
Was it always a new time they had to beat, or it was just your fastest time?
Fastest time.
Okay, so you did the fastest time and then sat back, and then you were like, try beat it.
Yeah,
Uh, do you think? How far do you think you'd beat? What was your fastest time on that assault course?
I think I did like 5 high 5s,
What do you think you'd get today out the door?
mid
7?
sixes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still very fast. It's just you need to be light to get up that hill. But this is
Yeah. That
interesting.
was it. Heartbreak Hill or
Yeah.
something?
Check this out. So, you remember how I got like really obsessed with cycling and starving myself last year? Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. Just don't
So, I've
listen.
been really doing research on basically, whoops,
Is this
stop presenting.
Inception?
What? Sorry,
Inception?
I clicked the wrong screen. A gram within a gram. So, it's interesting. Like, I came back and I did, like, I've been breaking records on my bike this time that I was actually really light and fast before. And basically, it's showing right here weight versus power on climbs. By adding 5 watts of power will give you more advantage on steep hill than losing 1 kilometer. So my
Hmm.
power right now is massive. Like I was going out and like I don't know if you can see this, but if we go in here, all right, Hunter, take your fucking sweet time. Let's go. Is this the one where I did? Okay, this workout right here. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Screw you. I'm able to hold much higher watts.
Is this on the Watt bike now?
This is on the new Watt bike, which is supposed to be so precise where it's like doing 20 measurements per minute, per second to tell
Mm.
you like your power output and everything. But you're looking at like I'm basically holding high 500s, like 400s to 500s on these watts. And, I'm doing this at like a really, really high level. And I couldn't do that before. I couldn't do that before, which is to me pretty insane how I'm able to hold a much higher watt output at a heavier weight. And it's been helping me like set records around my house just recently. So
Mm.
I don't know. I've been doing the research on this and trying to figure out how big of a difference it is to add strength. And that was the one thing I looked at last year, which is why I lost my power output, but I got like more efficient. So maybe being efficient's for pussies. Just saying.
Well, I think there's just a different body weight ratio to power on a bike than there is running. You know, running you have to be more economic, right? Bike you can just throw down some weight on your thighs and you can get away with, especially on an interval. Don't get me wrong, it's going to show the measurement like you've got that power, but running, I don't think there's a direct correlation.
Well,
Like especially not for high rocks anyway. Like
the thing
flat
is in
running,
the race, you're spending about 60% of the time running, but that other 40%, which is super important, is your power output, ski erg power output, sled push
yeah,
power output, sled pull, even
no doubt,
burpees is power output because you're just
yeah,
trying to produce as much distance as possible without doing like a broad jump in an
sure,
efficient manner. Even the row power output, it's not really power output to run with farmer's carry, but if you're too weak, you can't do it. Lunges, same exact thing, and
hmm,
wall balls too.
yeah. No, I get it. There is the power endurance aspect. We've spoken about it many times, and I think, like I said, you were always a better runner when you're slightly heavier. And your mistake, obviously, last year was getting just too light and just it wasn't the lowest hanging fruit you could have picked. You know, you were trying to reinvent the wheel, right? Which is admirable because you're going for sub 52. But if you look back at your top 10 times and how many of them are faster than 56 minutes, like a heavy hunter from 2 years ago who rocked up and did a high rocks after having a couple of pints before wins it comfortably. So, you know, you shot for the moon, you missed, eats your
Hit
soul every day.
hit Pluto.
Yeah, yeah, you know, but you went full retard, but that's okay. Now you know not to go full retard, like
Okay,
Downey Jr. says.
this is controversial. It's going to get me in trouble, but I don't care. Two things. I've been saying this for a long time because I found out. Damn it, I did it again.
You're dizzy.
So they've had this technology. God dang it, it keeps on happening. Sorry. Stop sharing. Present. Share. Entire screen. Okay, let's go again. They've had this technology for a long time where you basically can produce the energy that will like keep an entire house going for 24 hours just by biking for an hour a day on a machine like this. And they have it in gyms in Asia right now.
Mm.
So if you knew that you could basically control the power of your house doing this and you could buy this device for like let's say $2,500, would you do it?
Yeah, of course.
I think this is the future. Now, this is another very controversial thing that will get me in trouble. I think anybody that goes to jail should be forced to ride one of these things like 8 hours a day and put power back into the grid. Because they actually used to do that in prisons back in the day, where the first treadmill was created inside of prisons where you'd use this kind of like walking mill to grind grain.
Mm.
Dude, can you
I like it.
imagine you've got these prisoners in there and you got like, a couple thousand people cranking these things out? All this bitch ass stuff about like, we need more windmills. I'm like, shut up. Shut your mouth. We have people that will do the work.
I'm sorry, I'm slightly taken aback by the tangent the conversation went. But yeah, I'm on board now. Fuck it. Everyone's on one of these, creating their own electricity. I think it was the Sochi Games, the Winter Olympics in Russia, where they gave people the opportunity to do 30 squats, like on a mat to get free like rail card for the day. It was like 30 squats for free, or you pay for it, and it got a whole bunch of people moving. There's so many initiatives to kind of create like free power, free electric, but I mean, I don't know if you notice, that's not exactly in the establishment's best interest to create things that are free. We're just here, just like paying for like our individual bottled water, uh,
I'm just
and
saying, Hoocher for
different
president.
internet connections.
I could fix this.
What about this? Here's my idea, guys. If you come up with this idea, feel free to take it because I'm probably not going to make it happen. But individual apartment buildings, like the one I live in, I have like 8 different buildings. What about if there was some sort of app where you just shared passwords for certain thing? Like we just need one Amazon Prime, then we will get free delivery, or we just need one Sky Sports, and then we get to watch all the games, or just 2 internet connections, and we just split that. Because we don't need all these different routers for 8 buildings. I'm not saying it wouldn't work in like a huge tower block, but like a
Yeah, but
street.
these companies are not going to allow that. That was a brilliant,
I know, but
peaceful idea.
someone could create that, like an app
Well,
sharing passwords, and just be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm just borrowing my buddy's internet password.
around
It,
2015, they introduced a platform called ClassPass, which was
mhm.
this woman. I think she was like going to med school or something, couldn't afford to go to all these gyms in New York
We
City.
have that here. It's huge.
Yeah. And she basically created this partnership app with all of these gyms where you could do basically like a membership that would give you entrance to, 2 classes per week at 5 different gyms or something like that, and allowed you to do everything at like an affordable rate.
Mhm.
If someone did something like that, which was somehow able to get unity amongst all these businesses, it'd be brilliant. But the likelihood that that's going to happen is slim to zero because you got
All
these
right,
humongous companies that are just ripping us a new one all the time.
just ruined my utopian dream. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It does scare the shit out of me that these companies are just getting so big where what it's going to end up happening is that, with these investment firms that have accumulated so much money that they can buy things at a rate that we can't handle.
Hmm.
And unless you're in the top end of the percentage, you're not going to be able to buy into areas. And then they're basically going to shuttle everybody into, not everybody, but into like low income structure, in like, food at levels that are basically, you got to eat food at that level. And then like, it's either you're eating like Aldi's or Air One. There's nothing in between.
Air One. Does everyone know what Air One is? Because I've been there and it's frightening, if not spectacularly beautiful, but also frightening.
I'm getting pretty disappointed in the world right now because of these internet gurus. Like, these internet gurus are coming in and saying, like, listen, man, if you follow this plan, you're going to live forever. And if you sauna, you're going to live an extra 40%. If you drink this water, you're going to do this.
Yeah.
These assholes they're telling you about what they're selling, and they're not telling you that they're going to Air One 6 times a day,
Yeah.
that they have no stress, no any of these things. And they're always putting like it into this one thing. Like, I take AG1, I live forever. Like,
Uh-huh.
they're not telling you the realities of the situation. Here's something
Yeah.
I want to show you guys. This is something that's going to re-engineer your brain.
Air Air One, where like avocado juice costs £12.
Oh, dude, I went and got a $12 juice the other day that tastes like a fart in a cup. Okay, so check this out. Where is it? Okay, you guys see this right here on the left. Lenny and Larry's cookies, 480 calories, 16 grams of protein. Okay, double cheeseburger at McDonald's, 437 calories, 24 grams of protein.
Hmm.
You have no idea how many idiots I know that are telling me how bad McDonald's is, and they eat Larry's cookies in between as like their little nutritional snacks. It's it's a sham. Like, you think that this cookie, because it has the number of protein on the top right, you think that it's all of a sudden like a healthy substitute. I go to McDonald's all the time because it's the best in the business, dollar for dollar, calorie wise. Like, I'm not buying into this expensive shit anymore because I will live longer than you because I move my body more regularly. And I eat McDonald's because it's a better deal. And you guys are going to be spending money on Larry's cookies and all these other supplement ranges that do absolutely nothing for you. And you're going to do red light therapy. Like, it's it's bullshit.
I get what you're saying. I know that there's evidence to suggest that a double cheeseburger from McDonald's is more nutrient dense than a grenade bar, but because the grenade bar says it has 27 grams of protein on it or whatever,
But
people
that's the
would choose
marketing.
that.
Give
Yeah,
me
it's
10
clever.
seconds. Give
Where
me
are you
10
going?
seconds. Nowhere.
All right. Well, what do you guys think about McDonald's? Hunter loves it, which I couldn't really believe when I rocked up to his place in Malibu, and he was literally like, "We're going to McDonald's." I'm like, "The fuck? Is he serious?" I thought it was a joke. No, it was. He got 3 cheeseburgers and a porridge or like some sort of oats, and I was like, "Okay, cool. He's not going to eat all of that, surely." He did devour it over a longer period of time than maybe say like a trucker from Arizona would, but he devoured it all still. Um, but yeah, that's my McDonald's and Hunter story. Boss man, what are you doing back there? You better be wearing clothes when you come back on screen, otherwise I'm leaving.
Listen,
You wearing clothes? Okay,
I
good.
don't want to hear anything about it. Some of
Mm-mm-mm.
us
Did you go
are
for
super hydrated right now.
did you sit down when you went for a wee? Because you didn't want to rush your aim.
No, I squat pee and I tag I push it back and I pee in a power squat.
Strong, strong.
Yeah, dude, I will just like, let's try to see here. Macro for McDonald's.
McDonald's Feast Champions. Here are some of the I'll try and answer some of these questions. What the fuck is Air One? Air One's a basically rarefied air supermarket in Bel Air, um, near Malibu, where everything is like 10 times more expensive but super organic. Um, McDonald's does feed champions. 100% pure beef in those patties in the
Okay.
UK at least. I'm not sure though. Maybe.
So guys, just look at this. I don't know how much this item costs, but you're looking at the big arch. I've never even heard of this thing. 1,000 calories, 52 grams of protein,
Ooh.
66 grams of fat.
Two
So
grams of 2 grams of sodium. I'm in.
yeah, I mean, dude, you're talking about how much sodium you need training as an athlete. I can eat about 2 of these things right here.
I just told him that the first time I came out to Malibu and you hit McDonald's like within the first half an hour, like day one of training camp.
Yeah, because I'm not an idiot. I've got I've got goals. Let's try to look at something that's a little. Let's look at the Big Mac. Okay, so a little bit lower level of protein here, and it's a lot less calories. So it's about 1-to-1 with that last object we were looking at. Let's go back. Let's go forward. Let's go into. We'll go into chicken. McCrispy. 29
Yeah.
grams of protein, 26 grams of fat, 44 carbohydrates, sodium, pretty like not even that high in sodium. So if you guys are worried about your sodium, so
I
I,
don't think
I don't
anyone's
know.
arguing about the calorific splendor that is McDonald's. It's always been pretty solid across the macros. I think the problem is obviously the amount of like E numbers and like additives to keep it in that state. I mean, you could leave a cheeseburger on your windowsill for 5 years, come back, and it would look the same. So
I mean,
the
listen,
answer is obviously what's that doing to your insides? I mean, you know, I don't think it
tickling it with
matters.
glory. Okay,
As
let's see here
you,
for a second. We got this one right here. This is a double quarter pounder without cheese. I mean, this is great. I don't know what everyone's bitching about.
are you saying that this is what Kyle needed
I
halfway
gave,
through
I
yesterday?
gave Kyle a quarter pounder with cheese on the way on his last aid station, and he ran an 18-minute 5K. I'm not kidding at all.
Come on.
Dude, I'm basically just telling you guys the stuff that I know, and I'm trying to help celebrate and support this world.
Kyle
Now,
didn't run an 18-minute 5K
we'll
for
get the
laughs.
data on it, dude. It was pretty impressive. It was impressive, dude. Kyle was gassing it. It's a headquarters for the obesity crisis in America. Trevor, you don't know shit, man. The obesity crisis is just inactivity. It is inactivity. Why is it that children that are active can eat candy all day long and they're not fat? It is 100% the activity. If you put a step counter on the heaviest people, they have the lowest amount of steps. Trevor, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It is if you go into cities, you go into London where it's a walking and cycling based city, and all these walking and cycling based cities around the world, which I actually travel, and you probably live under a bridge or something because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. The cities that move the most are the people that have the lowest amount of body mass. And you go all over Europe, and these people, all they eat is beer, croissants, cigarettes, fondue, low body mass because they actually move. You guys have no idea. Anybody who talks about the obesity crisis in the United States is blind to the fact that it has nothing to do with calorie consumption and everything to do with movement. And what happens if you look at over time, there's not a lot of obese children. It's just basically there's somebody who continues to eat over time and continues to move a moderate amount to low amount. And they basically just keep on accruing fat over time. What can you talk about all day, Trevor Ottoman? You got nothing to talk about. You're a troll. You just don't know what you're talking about. It's moving. It's moving.
That's right, Trevor. You shut your damn pie hole.
Look at this. Nicholas Hoyer, I lost 200 pounds and ate McDonald's.
Yeah,
I
no, definitely the movement factor. If you think about it, just over the last 40 years, you know the stats, we've become so sedentary And yes, okay, there's more additives in food and all the rest of it, but that's definitely not what moves the needle. Like people think that 10,000 steps is a lot these days, and that's kind of given us like the government's bare minimum to like avoid coronary heart attacks and cardiac arrest. And it's 6 miles, 6 miles each day steps. That's nothing. Like there are people that do double that to get water each day, and they eat far less, and they're just out there just like, yeah, this is fine.
So people will reach out to me to train and they ask for help. And I say, if you send me 30 days worth of you walking over 10,000 steps a day, I'll train you. But no one ever ends up making it there. They just don't. That's the fastest way to freedom for your body is 10,000 plus steps a day.
Mm,
You guys are fools. Society is so sedentary nowadays because everyone's on their phones. Everyone's on their phones. Everyone does not stop just sitting in front of screens like this. It's just continuous sedentary moves. I wish I could find a chart where you could see the average movement of a human in a day over the past 30 years, but I guarantee it's dropped drastically. The
100%.
leanest I've ever been was when I was in New York City. I was a trainer and I wouldn't take the subways because I hated them. And I'd walk all around the city and I would easily rack up 20, 30,000 steps a day every single day. Yeah.
Dude, I'm still living that life in one size. I mean, I'm 41. I don't really count macros, so to speak. I kind of know what I need, but I cycle every day is 7, 8 miles cycling a day, 10 to 15,000 steps a day. A workout. I'm constantly demonstrating exercises, and I eat whatever the hell I want when I want, and I still have abs.
Well, our friend Jade over here, I've given her a hard time. She's worked with us. If you guys are super skinny, look at your steps. And if you're going over 10,000 steps a day, every 10,000 steps you do, you got to add 500 calories.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you got to be careful.
You had that challenge. You were like, "Do you want to do 30,000 steps a day for the month of October?" And I was like, "Hard pass. No, I do
Hard
not.
pass.
Hard pass. I'm not stupid." Yeah.
Dude, Trevor Ottoman came out swinging, and now since then in the comments, he's come up with the most wet blanket responses to anything. You got nothing to back up your speech here, dude. You're a wet blanket of a man. You showed up, you tried to duke me out, and you got nothing. Both things can be true at once. Not enough movement and poor diet. That's a fucking limp comment if I've ever heard one. Be more vague. Yeah.
Come on, Trevor, get off the fence.
Yeah, dude. You
Back
you right
yourself.
here, dude. I bet your fanny feels really hurt because you sit on top of a fence all day long, not picking sides. Oh, dude, it feels good to be back. Feels good to be knuckling up the people in the comments. Nothing winds me up like a good old Monday of beating people up in the comments.
You're gonna sit on your bike for the next hour and just be like, pretty proud of myself, just beating
Yeah.
up strangers on the internet.
Dude, do you see this hat right here?
Sexual chocolate.
Yeah, you
Mm,
know that's good,
I
dude.
like it.
Yeah, when our protein comes out, aka sexual chocolate, you know that character's going to be there.
Is it gonna be the next round of builder advertising? Is it gonna be a
Yeah.
character?
Dude, you know Black Friday's coming up. The ads are coming out. It's going to be glorious.
Mm.
All right, tell us about. I have to find my favorite comments because I said I was going to give away free builder. Guys, no one really knocked me on my ass today. I'm not going to lie. The comments were pretty soft. I was offering free builder, but you guys have just been kind of limp today. Haven't seen anything that's really thrown me on my ass.
Ryan Wingate. Trevor's about to get bodied.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, dude. I was ready to get on my seat and fight somebody. What do you got coming up this week?
I've got my first swim session for Ironman. It's in 6 weeks' time. No big deal. Just left swimming for a whole year before I do Ironman again. I figure that if I had to learn to swim last time I did Ironman in 6 weeks, right? I didn't know how to swim. But now I've only got to swim like a mile and a bit. So instead of like 3.8K, it's like 1.9. So I figure I need 4 swim sessions tops. I got to test a wetsuit, start to put together a couple of brick sessions, longer bike rides into slightly faster run. A few clients, and then next week I'm off to Calpe riding bikes before camp. Mm,
Yeah.
that's right. We'll come and train with me, guys. South of Spain, hybrid project, 9th of October to the 13th.
I think you guys, if you live anywhere near Spain, you guys should join. You guys should join George. Like, I think the training camps, in my belief, are the thing that gets you up onto the next shelf if you've been stuck. And then secondly, I think joy needs to be like paramount. I'm so sick and tired of just watching people like just in gyms doing high rock sims over and over again. Like, enjoy your life. Go do something cool.
Yeah,
Go do something cool and like have some fun. Get out of your gym, live a little bit. And you guys know the miserable months in the UK are coming.
yeah. On the Saturday, we're going to do the biggest workout. So in teams, we're going to do a little swim, like 400 meters or so, and then in pairs, they have to take 20-kilo sandbags back up to camp, which is about 5K, but it's about 500 meters of elevation. So that's going to be that'll be a challenge. And then we'll do like some sort of erg finisher in pairs, like 5K on a row or 5K on a ski erg or something to finish. So that's one of the workouts we're going to do for a nice big endurance day. Got a beach workout, some shorter stuff. They've got like a strongman outdoor arena. You kind of like it. It's down in the dirt. There's just a bunch of like man-made strength stuff. So they've got
Ooh,
like bench press, but it's just a big, thick, heavy log. They got
yeah.
those kettlebells you just throw over your shoulder. Bunch of weird exercises. Health and safety is absolutely zero, but it's beautiful.
You know what's crazy, dude? So I bought a 108-pound kettlebell to do some training. Just like when I was getting ready, because I didn't want to add any more weight, so I stopped doing barbells. I couldn't even lift barbells anyways. But now I could farmer carry it and I could like swing it and it fucked me up. I can now one arm snatch the kettlebell no problem. Like, it's gangster how much stronger I've got by adding this mass on. So if you
You're just doing
can,
swings with it?
yeah, have you ever seen the Beastmaster? This is something I'm going to work on for fun this offseason. Beast Tamer
Yeah. What,
KB.
the pull up boards?
So this right here, Strong First, the Beast Tamer. I will present this and then I'm going to get the heck out of here. Yeah, you're too late, Duhai. You know you're always late and you always bring junk comments anyways.
Who has got the best comments?
What?
Who you giving best comment to?
Dude, it's been soft. I can't give away gifts to people putting out soft. I tell everybody, every single show, I give away free builder to people that have good quality content.
You just gonna
Okay,
send
so
it to
this
me
is
then?
called the Beast Tamer. You have to pistol it, you have to shoulder press it, and you have to pull it. I can almost shoulder press it right now. I cannot pistol it, and I can definitely pull up it. So 48 kilo kettlebell for men. The press, the candidate needs to clean the kettlebell and then place it in any rack, and then basically you have to strict press it.
Single arm clean.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tactical pull up. The pistol is where I need to work on. My mobility is shit,
Yeah. Pistol, I've definitely not got that.
and I need to video it. But
Okay.
I could do this for sure. I'm getting my name right here next to Alex Peterson and Sharmashish.
And Gil Reeves.
All right, guys. I'm up out of here. George, you're always my favorite. You guys know what to do. Buildersports.com, Builder International, if you guys want to have the best supplements in the world. And as I said, amino acids are top in carbs all the time. Figure that out. Go back earlier in the show and you can learn the whole thing if you guys just got here. But go to the beginning of the show if you want to learn about that. And then you guys know the deal. If you want to have a sexy chocolate body, if you want to have dark chocolate body like Randy Watson, you guys know house training is where it's at. And if you guys want to have a great time, look up George. He's a trainer in the UK out of London, and he's got a bunch of camps coming up. Anything else you got to promote, G-Money?
All good. All good, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the stream.